Greetings and Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Well, belated. Kwanzaa, whatever it is that you celebrate. This is that special time of year where we all get together and we all try and enjoy one another's company. Yes, people can get a little bit greedier, people can be a little bit nastier, but people can also be a lot nicer, warmer, more forgiving of others. The people that we would like to be. Well, I wanted to actually go live. I don't know if anybody's actually going to be, watching this impromptu live, but I wanted to just share a little bit of a holiday story for this time of year. And I think we all have these holiday stories. So if any of you actually are watching this, well, let's say you watch it a little bit later. I mean, tomorrow I have 3 videos coming out, so that's a lot of videos. But Christmas Eve has always been my favorite holiday of the year. I know it's odd. And let me see if I can go and do this real quick. Put on a little bit of background music for this story. Because really and truly, Christmas Eve has been my favorite day of the year for a long, long time. I mean, since at least I can remember. Let's see here. There we go. Santa Tracker. All right. So let's do some Christmas stuff. That doesn't sound like Christmas music to me, but yeah, let's do this one here. Got a lot of those things. So, let's talk a little bit about a holiday story. For a long time, Christmas Eve has always been that special time of year. One would think, as a child, I would really love Christmas Day. Most of us do. I mean, you get to open presents. You get to be up and you get to have that excitement as you go to the tree and you see all the lovely things there. I mean, it was one of those exciting things. But Christmas Eve had a special air about it. So I do want to share a little bit of a memory here. And for some of you who might know me, you probably know some of these things. So one special Christmas Eve, I got up and we were getting up early a lot of times Christmas Eve. I didn't need any help with that. I was really happy with that. We had a giant poster. It was a Christmas tree poster. And it was filled with ornaments. And you put up an ornament on the poster, these little plastic ornaments, until it get to Christmas Eve. So I'd put up the last ornament, which was the star on the tree. Always super excited about this. But this time it was even neater because it was snowing. And we decided that we were going to go and participate in the annual neighborhood get-together. And we didn't do it all the time, but there was a neighborhood get-together where all of us in the small neighborhood, we lived out in the country, we brought like a potluck of breakfast foods, and all the kids my age or younger would be there, and we'd play and have great food, and it was just a wonderful little morning experience. And of course the adults, they'd chat and they'd get to know each other, because most of the adults in the neighborhood knew each other back then. It wasn't like how it is now, where most people are just kind of shut up in their own houses, on their own media. It's a different thing that many of us from I hate to say older generation have gotten to look at as more of a memory, unfortunately. But once we had that lovely breakfast, we didn't have to worry as much about the snow falling because it was just enough to just dust around the outside and make things very pretty. But the roads were very, very safe. And that would have been a potential worry, but not this time. It was probably about 40 degrees out. Enough for the snow to fall, maybe hook onto the grass for a little bit, but not enough for it to really do anything. So we got home and we do a lot of that extra prep work. And I don't remember as much about what we did during the day, but I do remember a lot of it was preparation to get together for the evening. So we would help prepare some food because we would prepare a little potluck stuff and get all the final gifts wrapped, everything prepped and ready to go. So we would get in the car around maybe four-ish, something like that, and then we would drive on over to my cousin's house. I mean, her husband, and their two children, they had a nice little house out there. And all of us that could on that side of the family would get together and celebrate Christmas Eve. But we'd also celebrate my grandmother's birthday because my paternal grandmother, um, her birthday was the 26th of December. And we decided, okay, well, we can get everybody together. And people that we normally didn't have got together, and you could see people that I wouldn't see in years. Let me see here. I'll hold 1 second. Got a comment from John Knight. Hello, and Merry Christmas Eve to you as well out there. But when we got to the house, it was a lot of cool stuff. I mean, there was always some sort of Christmas specials playing on the TV, lots of food from just a variety of sources. I'd usually hang out with a lot of my cousins that were, around my age. And of course, the adults, they'd mill around and talk. And it was really nice. I think there would be a couple of gifts exchanged here and there, but mostly it was about my grandmother and celebrating how she has a birthday, and a lot of the family that just can't get together that often. It's really funny because these days, that particular cousin, that house we would go to, I see her less than one of the cousins that we didn't see very often. But after having a nice time, just enjoying each other's company, having deer meatballs or various country things, we would get in the car. And one of the few times that this would happen is my father would actually be up to do a little bit of holiday work. So we would drive around the rich neighborhoods and watch all the decorations that they put up. It was always nice to just go through and watch the lights. We'd go through Clearwater and Clearview, which were high money estates during that time, and it was always pleasant to see the lights. But of course, after we got home, there was still a little bit of time, and my father dragged me out to go last minute shopping because some of the jewelry stores would still be open fairly late. And oh my gosh, he always liked to wait last minute, but I remember him taking what seemed to be hours trying to pick out the perfect gift for my mother, which were these, at that year, were these two little earrings that were shaped like pharaohs, because he was big into Egyptian culture at that time. And Michael McNally, again, I hope you're having a Merry Christmas yourself. I hope things are wonderful and that you and yours have a warm and an enjoyable Christmas. But when we would get home, we would then have my father's parents down, and because they lived just up the road at the time, and we would have a nice gift exchange, a little bit of conversation, and depending on how late it was at the time, they'd go back up or they'd stick with us. Usually they went back up, and we would settle down and watch White Christmas, which was something that my maternal grandmother, who I never got to meet in my lifetime, would make my mother watch as sort of a holiday tradition every year, which of course she put a lot of importance upon it at the time, that we always watch it. So we made sure that we did every year. And of course, I'd be excited and I'd have a hard time sleeping because, Christmas was coming. Nowadays, things are different. My mother's kind of lost that spirit of wanting to be in the tradition, but I try to keep it up. I always try to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation because I thought about that as my own annual tradition since 1990. And I am the one who holds the candle to watch White Christmas every year because it is something that I hold dear as one of the only traditions, probably the only family tradition left that I still participate in every year. And because of that, it is important to do. Some things still remain. My mother is still with us. My father is not. The cousin we used to go to, she's remarried to somebody else and lives somewhere else around. But, they're doing okay. Several people that were alive are not anymore. None of my grandparents are around. And though things are still a little bit emptier this time of year, sometimes I think back on it and I feel the intensity in the air. I look at the lights as I walk around the neighborhood. I think to myself, what an amazing time of year this can be. And the magic returns even for a small bit. So I hope that this was a little bit of an entertaining tale for you. And I'm curious about what kind of little things, little traditions do y'all do this time of year? Christmas is the prominent holiday, especially since we're on Christmas Eve. But, this time of year has tons. All of the major religions have holidays in the November, December area that are big religions for their particular groups. So I thought to myself, this would be good to share my story and see what stories other people might have. And of course, you can write those in the comments below. I'll be glad to look at them and read them. And of course, we can all reflect upon that. But I really do wish you all a wonderful holiday, a peaceful holiday, and warmth and love for the next new year. Well, this has been Septum Sen, and I'll see you on the next one, as we have 3 videos coming tomorrow. We have the anime update because there's a surprising amount of anime that's coming out on the 26th. We have ourselves the last episode of the Unusual Christmas Chronicles, and a special Septum Sen versus the World Christmas Day special that we do every year, where Jake and I do our annual gift exchange. So I hope y'all will be there, because I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.